Hello and welcome to the 223rd installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by other host, Jordan.
That's me.
Jordan!
Yeah.
Jordan!
Yeah.
Let me put this thing.
So, as always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify Podcast, and the RSS Feed linked below. YouTube and Spotify, the video platform where you can see us. Instagram, TikTok, you can contact us. And you can also do so via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, and most importantly, death threats.
Yes, sir.
We probably have death threats. We just never checked the email, to be honest with you.
Every time I have to get a login code for Spotify or something, I do check it, and I skim through, and it's like, man, just a lot of spam.
Yeah, lots of spam.
When you put out an email address publicly, it kind of just attracts spam.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
We had one, I think, because Synapse is in the name. We got one that was like, we have this some cold email, like, we have a neurologist we want to put on your show. I was like, have you fucking watched this show? Have you watched this show? Have you seen the John Freak episode?
Oh my god. You should have just replied to the email with that hyperlink. No context.
With the clip of like, are you sure this is the right show? And it's like the fucking... It's like the short of me talking about Ted Bundy's reanimated corpse.
Yeah. Yeah.
You sure this is the right one?
Yeah.
Don't think you have the right guy.
I don't think you did your research well. I don't think you did. Chris, I gotta tell you something real quick, real concise. I wanna mention something to you. Have you heard of the God of War trilogy remake that's happening?
Yes.
So that got announced, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm interested in playing it, but like I also was like, man, I should finish the original because I played God of War 1 and I beat it on the PS Vita, but I never played 2 or 3 or Ascension for that matter. So I went back and I replayed them.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's another trilogy out there. I guess maybe like the Uncharted games kind of do this, that I feel like there's this real sense of progression in gameplay mechanics as you work your way through it. Like going from 1 to 2 feels pretty similar. I mean, they're both PS2 games, a lot of similarities. But like the jump from 2 to 3 and then from 3 to Ascension, that was a pretty nice jump between them in terms of just the way they feel to play. And like the combat system at its core is the same, square, triangle, circle, all these things. But like, I don't know, Kratos becomes like a more dynamic character. And I feel like it's one of the few games I've played that will do a prequel where the character seems better in the prequel than they were in the future, because the games came out in that order.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like God of War Ascension Kratos, he's, like, busting out moves that I'm like, why didn't God of War 3 Kratos do this? I'm like, it's kind of wild. Usually, I feel like they nerf you when they do prequels. They make you sort of like a stupid version of that character.
Right.
To show that progression. But, like, bro, God of War Ascension Kratos, he's kind of moving different. He's pretty badass. I really recommend you honestly try them out. They emulate so easily. Like, that's how I've played them. I haven't been playing them on native hardware. They emulate so easily nowadays, like with the RPCS3 emulator for 3 and Ascension, and then PS2, God of War 1 and 2. Super easy. You could probably even emulate the PS2 games that when they ported them to PS3. You could probably just emulate the PS3 versions just as easily. But there are some pretty good games that I never really appreciated, like, how those games were for the time. Yeah. And the last thing I wanted to say about it, besides just recommending that you go and play them if you haven't, because I don't think you've played the trilogy at all or anything.
No.
So I definitely recommend
I kind of like, I looked up like a full story breakdown because I wanted the story beats, but like, and they're shorter games than like, because every game comparatively is a short game, compared to like new shit that's made. So I was like, I could play them, but like also I could spend 2 hours listening to this lore guide and get all the story points and not have to spend 30 hours playing all these games.
Yeah, that's 100%. And I feel like those also give you like better story things because like you miss stuff in the games that you don't notice or pay attention to. But with the games, what's funny is I noticed that God of War might actually be one of the most conforming series I've ever played, where as you play the games, they released in like, I think it was like 2004, 2006, and then I think it was like 2009 and like 11 or something like that. It was like a weird little staggered window. those games conform to the time period they released very much so. So like the PS2 versions, heavy platforming, a lot of puzzle solving, and like that's the main gameplay. Then there's obviously the combat, but it's very simplistic. It's button mashy. It is what it is. The God of War 3 heavily leans into the gore, like very heavily, which of its time, that was when Gears of War was coming out. You were chainsawing people in half, and it's got that, doesn't quite have it, but it's got like almost like a piss filter, like for that time, you know?
Yeah.
So
I know what you're talking about.
It heavily conforms to that. And then God of War Ascension gets even gorier. Like it's way gorier, even though it's a prequel.
Well, and if you think about it, the two new God of War games are exactly like that too. They conform to very much the state of games now, which I've heard people complain about. I am a sucker for like a good story and like an emotional growth of a character. There are some people who don't want to play a video game and also like, you know, feel something at the same time. But they're very like emotionally driven games. So they take like an old character and kind of do therapy on them. Yeah. And I like that concept.
Yeah. Well, and their combat system too. It's just a rip of the time period that they came out.
Yeah.
It's an RPG game in a time where RPGs were the boon, you know?
Exactly.
So like I find that this is actually probably one of the most conforming, and like I'm probably wording this wrong. It's going to sound like people are going to disagree, but it's like almost like one of the least unique series. Like the period piece that it tells is very,
in terms of the underlying mechanics.
Yeah, it just follows the trends.
They're very derivative of like what's popular at the time.
Yeah,
which is fair.
Which I will say, to my knowledge, like God of War 1, the combat system specifically was fairly unique for the time. And then other games followed that, but like just those underlying themes and like mechanics, it definitely seems to just rip from the time that it came out, which is very interesting. Going back to it now, like you feel that progression because you've lived through those times.
Yeah,
you know, it's not like when you were playing them that was just the thing, so it was normal. But now going backwards, knowing how games sort of changed from the PS2 going into PS3, how long that cycle was for consoles, and how it changed from start to finish before PS4, you really feel it.
Well, that's also when generational gaps actually felt like something. Yeah, there are noticeable differences between the PS4 and the PS5. But like between the PS3 and the PS4, like late gen PS3 was moving different in the amount of, it ran The Last of Us on 0.5 gig of RAM.
Yeah.
Right? This console is moving crazy. And yeah, like games from 2013 now, they look shitty, but like look at a game from 2014 when like a first gen PS4 game, and look at a first gen or like a launch title for PS4, and look at a launch title for PS3, and then go back and do the same thing for 2 and 3. And then go back and look at the same thing for 1 and 2. And you can see it goes from like dog shit to like pretty decent to like good, and then 4 to 5 is like, you know,
you can still play them now.
Yeah, the leap isn't that crazy.
Yeah.
Like The Witcher 3, like that game's 10 years old now, 11 years old now. And that game, it plays a little older, like it mechanically feels a little older. More due to probably technical limitations than anything else.
Yeah.
But the graphic, like graphically, it still holds up very well. Like if it was released this year, I would be like, oh, it looks fine.
You would think it's like an indie-ish.
Yeah, game. It's like it's a little indie, but like it looks fine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel like if you took someone who doesn't know anything about, say, Infamous, right? They've never played an Infamous game in their life, and you took Infamous Second Son, which was a somewhat launch-ish title for the PS4, and you slapped a PS5 logo on the box and handed it to them, and they put it in their PS5 and played it, I don't think they would really question it. Now, I don't know if that game supports like the high frame rate of the PS5 if it was ever patched, but assuming it was, like it would run at the right frame rate.
Yeah.
Graphically, like raw fidelity, I don't think they would question.
I think legit the only like real benefit we get from going to like PS5, like the only real generational benefit we get here is like the increased frame rates.
Well, and load times.
Yes.
Frame rate and load time is the biggest thing, because like God of War 2018 to Ragnarok, if you look at how the PS5 version of Ragnarok runs compared to the PS4 version of God of War 2018, where there's a lot of that, like, let me move this box to, like, hide a loading screen. A lot of that's kind of gone in the PS5 version of Ragnarok. You still get it because it's still a PS4 game that was made for both.
Yeah. Or when you have to travel on the Yggdrasil tree, they extend it out when, like, there's dialogue that has to be given on this trail. They extend that journey out. But if you're just traveling outside of, like, a mission or whatever, outside of a quest, it's like a 3-foot walk to the big ethereal door to get out to where you're going.
Or actually, here's a better example because you played both of these too. Spider-Man 2018 to Spider-Man 2. Like,
Spider-Man 2 is like you hit a button, you're in the game.
Yeah, you hit a button, you're in the game, and on top of that, like in-game, you have like the Mysterio fight where you're going through portals, or the Black Cat chase where you're going through portals, and it's all seamless. You're in like different parts of the map, all back to back to back to back, and there's no load screen or anything. 2018 has a lot of like in-between cutscenes and like a lot of like sort of set pieces. Where Spider-Man 2 really spreads their set pieces out and like makes things very seamless, you know? So load times are the biggest thing, I would say. Even more than just like raw fidelity.
I would take, because like the frame rates are fine, but like if it was a decision between you can have your games all run at 60 FPS, 60 to 120 FPS, or you can have high load times or fast load times, I would rather pick the higher frame rate. Like, I just, my PC brain, I've not played a game at 30 FPS in years. When I look at a game on like PS4 or PS3 or whatever, like I feel like I'm moving through fucking molasses. I can't stand looking at video games in 30 FPS.
That's fair. I think for me, it depends on the game and the genre, right? So if you're giving me God of War Ragnarok at a locked 30, I'm not talking about 30 that drops to 20 the second enemy spawns, but like a locked 30, I don't think I'd care. If you're giving me Spider-Man 2 at a locked 30, then I might start to care because of how fast and frenetic that wingsuit is and all the fights are.
Yeah.
So it totally depends for me. Overall, if I have to make a blanket statement, though, I think I pick faster load times. Not just because of, I can get into the game quicker, but it also enables mechanics that never existed elsewhere.
True.
So, like, Split Fiction, I don't think you ever played that because it's a co-op only game, but Lexi and I played it. And Split Fiction, entire mechanics are based around that next-gen NVMe drive capability to split the world in half and have two separate worlds rendered at the same time and then have you swap between them instantaneously. And like those gameplay mechanics can't exist in as fluid of a fashion. They can exist, but just not as fluidly and dynamically as they do because of that. So I would definitely pick, I think, load times, generally speaking. Obviously, we're talking like PS2 frame rates, then no, I'm picking the better frame rates because the PS2, those frame rates are insane. Like Manhunt runs at like 18 frames per second. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Remember when I went back and I played Red Dead 1 on the Xbox?
Yeah,
dude, that last mission, like where you're charging at Dutch, like you go like up a hill or something, you gotta fight all the guys. That whole section of the game ran at like 15 FPS for me. And then there was a section where I threw the fire bottle at this big section of enemies, and the frame rate went down to like 10. And like the fire hit and went as it tried to render all this shit.
Yeah, that's just crazy. But for the time, we were like, this is the greatest.
This is the best video game. This is the best video game I've ever played. And as a video game, it's pretty good. Just as a frame rate game, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, if you replay it now on PC, like I played it on the Ally, which runs at a locked 60 easily.
Yeah,
that game is beautiful.
Yeah,
the game's shot. I will say though, like, I don't know how people like Red Dead 1 more than 2, because like I went back and played it, and I made it all the way to like towards the end of the Mexico section, right before you head back to the U.S. And I'm like, yeah, like the story's good, but like the gameplay is. It's good, but it's like going from 2 to that is really hard for me.
Yeah, I definitely like 2 more. I think they're both great, but
yeah, if you take them as from their time period, like if you go to 2010,
they're
insane.
they're both very good. Like Rockstar's very good at making games that are great for the time period.
Yeah.
Like GTA 5 was a fantastic video game in 2013.
Yeah. But by today's standards.
Like, eh. But like, Red Dead 1 was like fantastic for 2010.
Yeah. And the fact that you got that in 2010 and GTA 5 in 2013 is also crazy.
Remember when Rockstar made games?
Yeah.
Me neither.
See, but like, here's the thing. People say that, and I agree. I wish Rockstar made more games. Trust me, I want them to make LA Noire 2. I would genuinely sell my soul for Bully 2. Like, their games are probably genuinely my favorite games ever. It's probably most of their games. But if we can have them be the developer that we know will show up and lay out the industry for that year. Like, if it's like, okay, every 8 to 10 years we get a Rockstar game, and it pushes the entire bar from every developer. There's no developer that can compete. I'll take that.
Yeah, and that's fine, but as long... I would say if we get a new Rockstar game every, like, 8 years instead of every, like, 15 years.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, 8 to 10 years, like, that range... I'll take it. Like, the range between Red Dead 1 and 2 is 8 years. I'll take that. If you can make me feel even 70% of what I felt playing Red Dead 2 and continue to feel when I replay it every 8 years, I'll take that over a Ubisoft. I'll take that over Assassin's Creed game every year.
That is fair. That is fair. I think Rockstar is one of those studios that, like, publishers can take a bet on because... You know they're going to sell really well, even if GTA 6 came out. And by some miracle, it's like fucking shit. Mm-hmm. Just off day one sales alone,
you're recouping.
They're going to recoup all their money and then some. Like, they're going to make a profit. They're going to turn a profit on this day one. I wouldn't be surprised if in the first week they sell, like... I wouldn't be surprised if it's the fastest selling game ever. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the first like 2 weeks they sell 100 million copies. Like that would be fucking unprecedented by a crazy margin in the games industry. But like it wouldn't surprise me.
If Resident Evil Requiem can break the record they broke, which was 5 million units in 5 days. I don't doubt that GTA 6 not only becomes the fastest selling game of all time with, I would say 100 million units by the end of the first week. I would say that they are going to be the fastest selling piece of anything. Ever.
Probably, yeah.
Anything. Like, box office weekends at the movies, blown out of the water. Like
GTA 6 might be the first time we find out that digital stores can run out of codes.
Yeah, there may not be enough letters in the alphabet. Like
they might have to start adding digits to the code to get.
Yeah. Like that's what I would say. And I could be totally wrong. And I'm not saying that as like someone who wants to be a Rockstar fanboy, but I just genuinely think that.
No, I'll be the first to say, okay, like Red Dead 2, I fucking slob on that game's knob crazy style. I'm grapefruiting that shit. GTA 5 I have my gripes with. I've explained this before. But my gripes with GTA 5 are more on Take-Two than they are on Rockstar. And it's the same gripes I have with Red Dead Online. Like, yeah, it's just a fucking very blatant money grab now. And that's a Take-Two problem. That's not a Rockstar problem.
Yeah.
Big money's going to get into the games industry anyhow. I don't know why Rockstar... They probably sold their soul like a long time ago. But like, so now they can't get out of the contract. I don't know why they don't just self-publish. I don't know why they still go through Take-Two. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. Anyway. That being said, like GTA 5 in its entire life has sold like 200 and something million copies over like 15 years.
Yeah.
I think 100 million units within like the first couple weeks is it's a lofty estimate for the games industry for GTA 6, but like I don't think it's exactly unreasonable.
Yeah. It's on the upper end, but within reason.
Like 100 million units wouldn't surprise me. 50 million units would be like, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. That would be day one.
Yeah, like I'm fully anticipating Steam servers, or not Steam servers, because they're this game's coming to PC in 2038 probably. I fully anticipate Sony and Microsoft servers going down.
Yeah.
Immediately.
That's why I'm buying that shit physical.
release.
But hopefully there's no update you need to get. There's going to be a fucking day one update.
There's going to be a day one patch. So, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody.
Man, I'm very excited for that game. Like, the thing is, I just feel like there's nothing like it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Like, anytime a Rockstar game comes around, doesn't matter what it is, there's just nothing that plays like it. Like, even going backwards. Give me another game that plays like L.A. Noire. Give me another game that's even remotely close to what Bully does, you know? Like, I go back and play those games because there's nothing modern to compare them to.
True, yeah.
You know? Like, GTA, I guess, could be, like, the only exception because when that first became really big, developers tried to match it.
But they started the trend.
Yeah.
Like, there's Saints Row.
Yeah, and Sleeping Dogs.
Look at Sleeping Dogs. That game was crazy because that main character, I forget his name.
Wei Shen.
You were moving fucking crazy in that game. You were moving like Leon Kennedy. You were running up. Dude, I would run up to cops shooting at me with a machine gun. I would jump up and do a spinning kick and kill the guy instantly.
And you're an undercover cop while
and I'm
you're
just
doing
like,
all this.
yeah, I'm with them. Imagine what I do with my enemies.
Yeah, that game, man, I still to this day hope we get something, but we won't.
Well, I think that game financially kind of didn't do well. I feel like that one kind of flopped.
Which is crazy. Because, like, by all accounts, combat-wise, it's one of the best hand-to-hand combat games. I mean, it's just like a derivative of the Arkham style, but it flows so nice compared to it, so. But that's all I had to say. Talked about the God of War thing, and then we going off about GTA a little bit. But what do you have, Chris? I know you said you have a boatload.
One thing I will say on GTA, I think when 6 comes out this year, I do not anticipate it being a bug-free release. I anticipate it being full of bugs day one.
I kind of hope so, though, too. Like, that's part of the charm.
I fully anticipate that it's going to be maybe not like Cyberpunk levels of bugs, but like very close.
You think it'll be that bad? Yeah.
The scale that they have with this game, I think that, and the amount of times they've delayed it too, it kind of worries me. It screams like, oh, there's fucking, the bugs are back. They're full of bugs.
Maybe. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised, but like I think about their other releases, and definitely they had a lot of bugs, but they weren't Cyberpunk level bugs where the game became unplayable for some.
True.
You know, like Red Dead 2 definitely had a good amount of bugs at launch, but they were more like the humorous type, like bridge launches and like kind of like how GTA 4 had the swing set launch and shit like that.
The swing set glitch. I also think though their turnaround on bugs is very quick
compared to a lot of developers. Yeah.
Like Cyberpunk wasn't playable until like 2023.
Yeah, it took like 3 years. Or 2.5 years.
I think GTA 6 will come out, it'll be full of bugs, and then by the end of like the first month, it'll be pretty good.
Yeah. All the major, like, game-breaking ones will be resolved.
Yeah.
So, makes sense. I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see. It can't always be the best, you know? I didn't try, but something could go wrong, you know?
Yeah.
The story might be dog water, right? That could be a real possibility, right? Like, their stories have a track record of being awesome. But
I really hope that's the aspect where they excel on, honestly.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I mean, all the things we've heard about it are like, yeah, I'm interested in the story. Like, I like the characters already. I don't even know them. And I'm like, oh, okay. I like the dynamic they're going for. That's like Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's something different. You know, it's not something you'd get every day. And if I can do squats as Lucia to build that badonk, I'm down. GTA San Andreas style.
Hey, they know their audience.
Yeah, so we'll see. We could be back here in 8 months and be like, dude, GTA 6 is the worst launch in media history.
We could be on, there'll be a video of us. We'll title it the podcast after GTA 6 comes out. If it's this bad, I will title it The GTA 6 Situation is Crazy.
There you go.
Anyway, computers.
I think I've heard of those.
I would hope so. I have been building this like little NAS project, doing a little server project for a little bit now. And then I read the article, and if you're watching this now and this is how you find out, you're cooked already. So I read the article that Western Digital and Seagate have sold all of their hard drives till next year to AI data centers.
As of February.
As of February, and it's now almost April, so good luck. I was so fucking mad when I read this that I went to an eBay store and I bought 4 refurbished. I spent $1,400 on refurbished enterprise drives so that I could just put this server project together. So I got 32 terabytes of RAID 1 storage. So it was 4 16 terabyte hard drives. So I put that together, and in the process, I fucking grenaded the power supply because I'm an idiot. I will fully admit this is a me problem.
User error.
Yeah, I grabbed a cable because I needed more hard drive power SATA power plugs. So I grabbed the cable, and I thought it was for that power supply, but it was for a different one. So I plugged it in, and it immediately cooked the power supply. I plugged it in, hit the button, the fan spun for like a second, and then nothing happened. I was like, oh, fuck me. So I started unplugging shit until like to see if I could get it to boot. Until I just had the motherboard plugged in and nothing happened. I was like, fuck, great. So took out the power supply, and I have it here. I took this little twist tie here, and I cut the ends off of it so that I could short the 2 pins together to start the power supply. So I need like a button. And yeah, I just fucking cooked the power supply. I shorted like the 12-volt rail, and because the pinouts on the cable were entirely different.
It didn't damage any. I never asked you this. It didn't damage any like the server parts or anything, right?
Not as far as I'm aware. So the power supply, as much as like it is frustrating that it immediately killed itself, I'm glad that it did
Itself.
I'm glad that it killed itself rather than everything else.
Yeah.
So if that's my point of failure on something like a 12-volt rail short, that's one I'm okay with failing.
That versus the whole thing, yeah, definitely.
So I spent a couple $100 on a new power supply, which kind of hurt, but like
with
whatever.
The correct cables this time.
Yes. So I got a fancy 80 plus platinum, with the braided cables, pretty fancy. And I knew I was going to have to upgrade the power supply anyway, because I want to upgrade one of the GPUs that's in there. So I have in there right now, I have my GTX 1080, which I should probably replace with something lower power, because all it's doing is it's a display adapter.
Yeah. You can't just use integrated off the motherboard, or it doesn't have
No,
one?
I looked at like the 3900X that's in there doesn't have integrated graphics. That's what I was going to try to use, but and then I have my 2080, my RTX 2080 in there as well that I passed through to a virtual machine. And I actually did that. I set that up after the last time we recorded. And that setup process took ages. I messed around with this thing for like 5 hours to try to get it to work. And what I was missing, because firstly, you need something available on your motherboard called IOMMU. Input, output, I think it's memory management unit. I didn't get the acronym last time. I think that's the right acronym. And I know I have IOMMU on this motherboard because I fucking used it before. I've done this setup before with this hardware. So I know it works. And I figured because I've done it before, it's probably still enabled. Nope, wasn't enabled, but I was working under the assumption that it was. So I was like, I have the config right, but it just won't fucking enable IOMMU. I'm looking at the like D-message like printout. What the fuck is going on? And then I'm digging through my motherboard settings in BIOS. I'm like, oh, it's off. It's off. My stupid chud life. So I turned it on and it immediately worked. But then, booting onto the virtual machine, the RTX 2080 was passed through. It was there, but it showed up with an error. It failed to start every time. So what I had to do is in Proxmox, when I passed it through, I had to go in. You have to open advanced settings and there's a little checkbox. This is like enable PCIe. And I check that off, and it works fine now. So yeah, I just hit a button, and the monitor behind me turns on, and it's a whole other computer, and it works pretty well. I've been using it for editing pretty much, because like I don't use Windows for fucking anything really anymore.
Besides that, yeah.
We'll see what happens. I think maybe today will be the day, because I'm gonna distro hop. I said I was done with it, but I think I'm gonna distro hop.
What are you going to instead?
I'm just gonna go back to the old reliable. I'm gonna go to Minix Lint. Minix Lint?
Linux Mint. I was like, what the hell is that?
I'm tired.
I had a Linux
Mint.
Chris is joining the Minutemen.
This has Linux Mint on it, this laptop. I love Linux Mint. It's honestly the most reliable, like least controversial operating system that I've used. Because like, I like Debian, because Debian's very stable. But Debian is like unk. You know, Debian's old as fuck. There's a lot less config that it does for you. So the barrier to entry is a lot higher. So like to get NVIDIA drivers going, you can absolutely do it, and it's not that hard. But there's an additional step you have to do. Like I have to go in and enable the non-free repositories. And then I can get the driver, and then I just have to manage it, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to do all that. And then also, by the way, you're not sudo like right when you start your system. So when you make your user account and password, you have no permissions to do fucking anything. You have to log in as root and then sudo edit and add yourself to the sudoers file, when every other distro I've used just does that manually. I think other than Arch, but you have to do everything manually in Arch anyway.
That's the point, yeah.
So I was anticipating having to install that from the command line anyway, and I do that on install if I'm installing Arch. By the way, this is my goal. I've said this before, how much I hate the Linux community. I'm gonna piss all of them off.
Okay.
Arch sucks. Arch sucks, and you're not cool for using Arch. I don't know what to tell you. Arch is kind of dick balls. Because let me be a little less inflammatory. I think it's great if you like to tinker. If you like to work on your computer rather than get work done on your computer, I think it's fine. Same with like Gentoo. It's like Gentoo is great for developers because you're compiling everything from source, so you can look at what's happening. Have fun getting on the internet, though, when you have to compile. You would have spent 17 hours compiling your web browser. Anyway, but Arch is like, it's rolling. So they give you updates right when they come off the line. The second that developer hits commit to the Git repository, that update, you have that update. And I'm not saying this out of a lack of experience. I was an Arch guy for a long time. I ran Arch. I ran all the Arch-based stuff. I've ran Manjaro. SteamOS is Arch-based.
Yeah.
Like I've used so much Arch-based stuff for so long. I was the Arch. I use Arch, by the way. I was that guy for a long time. I am gonna say now, Arch sucks because it just will fucking break. And yeah. Oh, you got to subscribe to the Arch forums, and they let you know if there's a package issue. Great. I don't want to have to fucking deal with that.
Dude, just get on the newsletter.
Why do I don't have to fucking deal with that? Or, God forbid, I have a package that's on the AUR, and I have to like install some shit off the AUR, and that package is like an ancient version of something that already exists. And now you have this fucking security risk on your system. So it's Arch sucks.
It's not good, yeah.
And I don't think I think we've moved past the need for a rolling distro like that. I think it's great if that's what you want to do. You know, to each his own. But I think Arch sucks. Use something Debian or Ubuntu based. If you really want your system to just fucking work, use something Debian or Ubuntu based. And I'm moving on. I have on my main system, I have Pop OS, which Pop also, I'm going to say, Pop kind of also sucks. I've been waiting for them to update for a while from their Ubuntu 22 base to the Ubuntu 24 base. And I've been waiting for them to do that update for a while. And then they finally do it. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to upgrade now. And then I read about how they released it as a full release. But the desktop environment they released for it is so bad and buggy. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to update. And I was like, I'm kind of sick of the user friendliness of it all. I think it's great. It's a great step for people who don't know Linux well. I think it's a great step for them. However, I think it's getting a little Windowsy with what it's trying to tell me to do. It still listens to me just fine.
Yeah, you can override it.
I can do it, but like I don't need a notification that I have updates. I know I have updates. I can deal with it myself. I don't need things obfuscated away from me. I'll be okay.
You'll survive.
Right? And I defended my use of Pop sometime recently, and I still do. I still think it's a very fine distro if you just want a plug and play thing. But I think Mint is that as well. It's just I've had the least problems and bullshit come up with Mint.
It's been the most reliable.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go back to that, and like their dev team is actually pretty legit, and the stuff that like people don't like about Ubuntu, it's like kind of removed from the Ubuntu base that Mint is on. So like there's no snap packages and all the canonical bullshit is removed. So it's a very good distro. I like it a lot. So I'll probably be switching to that relatively soon, for all the grief that may bring. But now I have this big backup system, so I can just fucking like clone my system to this.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Is how easy is it to migrate Linux OSs? Like with all your files, or say your videos, you just put them on the NAS.
It depends on your process. If you have a process, it's very easy. If you don't have a process, it can take a while. There is, with any Linux install at all, there is a move-in period.
Oh yeah.
So you have to spend like the first couple of weeks of the install is like tracing down packages that you like missed with your initial whatever. Sometimes there's like some arbitrary library you have to install that like enables some kind of weird functionality. But that's usually kind of worked out. You got to work out the kinks for the first couple weeks of a new install, but then after that it's like
seamless. Yeah.
But the actual move-in process is very very seamless for me because I have a process to do it.
Wasn't that the case with like X input, right? You had to trace down some arbitrary library or package to like get X input to work or something.
Yeah, I had to like fight with that for a while.
So once you have that, it's easy to maintain.
Yeah.
It's kind of like just pulling the pieces together, like building the puzzle. I spend a little time, a little bit here and there.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the one reason I'm kind of like about switching to Linux is because like I could do that, but like I could also just not for now.
I think it depends. I always recommend Linux with like a lot of caveats because if you want to switch on bare metal, you want it to be your main OS. Learn it first. Spend some time with it on another machine.
Or like dual boot or something.
Or dual boot or whatever. Spend some time with it first. Make sure you like it. Make sure you can debug. Make sure you can troubleshoot. Because even on the easiest distros, even on Mint, you have to do a lot of that shit. Make sure you're comfortable with the terminal. Because everything's easier in the terminal. Yes, maybe you have this nice GUI-based tool. Jump in the terminal. It'll be easier.
Punch in some commands,
and there'll be less issues with what you're doing in the terminal. But if you just want to turn on a computer and have it work, whatever, you can install Windows. And I don't know how the case for Windows 11 is. I haven't used Windows 11 a whole ton outside of work. Windows 11 that I use at work sucks, and it's full of bugs that just kind of show up arbitrarily.
Yeah.
Because all their code is AI generated now. I think like 30% of it is. So weird bugs just show up every now and then. I use Windows 11 for like Adobe products, but if you're going to use Windows 11, just get the debloat script. look up on Google. Go to google.com. You're familiar with search engines. You know what I'm talking about.
I think so.
You go to Google. You're going to look up Chris Titus Tech Windows debloat script. And then there's an article on his website, christitustech.com or .org maybe, I don't know. And he's got the article for it, and it just says, open PowerShell as an administrator, punch in this command. And then you can just hit recommended, and it'll check a bunch of tweaks and shit for you. And it'll apply all that to your system. And bing, bang, boom, you've debloated your system. It's quite nice.
That's for Windows 11.
For Windows 11. He had a Windows 10 one as well.
I may need to do that because it's at the point where I keep, every time I power on my computer, it's like, hey, upgrade to Windows 11. Got to do it immediately. And I should because of obviously the security issues that are going to arise. But I don't want to. So it's like if that's reliable, I'll probably just do that.
Yeah, I have I did that even on my VM, like, because I don't have there's no punishment for not activating Windows, really. You don't have to pay for Windows ever. You'll just probably have an activate Windows thing in the corner, and even then that doesn't really show up sometimes. But what you can do with this debloat script, if you don't have activated Windows, they just remove your ability to personalize stuff.
Like
you
desktop background, you're saying? Like shit like
desktop background and like the theme.
Oh, whatever.
So I think the light theme makes me want to peel my eyeballs out.
Yes.
But with this debloat script, you can check it on regardless of whether or not you have Windows activated or not. It'll enable dark theme. It'll just like change a reg key and do it for you. So
that's cool.
That's a good way to do that.
Yeah. What does it debloat exactly? Does it take out like
it gets rid of like
Copilot
telemetry? You can get rid of Copilot. You can get rid of if you don't use it, you can get rid of the Xbox stuff, the trackers, a lot of the ad stuff, a lot of the bloatware you can get out. It's a fairly robust tool.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that then. Maybe I'll update my PC to 11 and do it. I'm afraid to do it on the Ally because that's like a unique Windows 11 device. It has some stuff.
A very bespoke like Windows
yeah
install, so it's probably got a bunch of extra bullshit on there.
I also do nothing personal on there. Like that's not my PC. It's for gaming, so I don't care. Like if they want to trap me playing God of War 3 on an emulator, be my guest. But my main PC, like I do banking and shit like that, so I wouldn't mind debloating it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's pretty.
Does he get rid of the keylogger? Or that dumbass thing that takes screenshots of everything you do?
Oh, recall?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sweet.
I think that's one of the main tweaks that it does.
10 didn't have that, right? That was like an 11 thing.
That was an 11. It was a beast that came out of 11.
That's the main thing that I want gone.
My favorite thing about that was they announced it. Everyone was like, "Man, this is a huge cybersecurity risk." And then they were like, and Microsoft went, "No, it's fine. We put all these files, we store them locally, and we encrypt them." And then they released the update to the public, and the encryption was broken in a day.
Nice.
A day there was a tool to fucking break the recall encryption.
Microsoft was like, I shouldn't have made the password 123. I shouldn't have made it password 123.
Shit. I should have done it.
I should have used LastPass. I should have used LastPass.
Yeah, that was so that's that.
That's pretty buns, not gonna lie.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really sick of the landscape that we're in at the moment. So I'm sick of subscriptions. I'm sick of PC prices. I'm sick of fucking AI. I'm sick of Windows. I'm sick of doors. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting real close.
I'm sick of Arch users.
Specifically.
Ubuntu is pretty good when you don't have a bitch in your ear telling you it's nasty, okay?
Yeah.
And I know it's Ubuntu, okay? I know it says on the website to say Ubuntu. I've been saying Ubuntu since 2014, okay? Fuck you. I'm hot today, sorry.
I can tell.
I gotta calm down.
I just feel like every day we're getting really close to Night City.
Every day, yeah, because I can feel myself moving into Johnny Silverhand every so often. I just like every so often I can the violin or the cello version of Rebel Mind starts playing in my head, and like I could feel my arms start turning into metal.
It's like Transformium, dude.
Like, man, I feel like Keanu Reeves right now.
Oh man, Chris.
Yeah.
On a potential positive, I say potential because we really don't know. But have you heard of Crimson Desert? You have to have heard of it.
Crimson Desert?
You haven't heard of it?
No.
That is actually crazy. That actually shows probably how like little you've been gaming. Like you said, you've been doing a lot of other things.
I haven't played. You know how little I played. I've played Baldur's Gate 3. That's all I've played. I think that's the only video game I've touched like this year.
Damn. Okay.
I have not played
Well,
shit.
I think even more than the God of War thing I said earlier, I think you might need to look into Crimson Desert because it seems right up your alley, to be honest with you. It's essentially the RPG seemingly to sort of end most RPGs in terms of its scope, its scale, the systems in place. It's a very promising game. And everything about it screams actually good and not just hype cycle good. It comes out Thursday as of recording this. So by the time this is out tomorrow, comes out tomorrow. And yeah, it looks fantastic. It appears to be like a Rockstar level experience, but in RPG form.
Interesting.
So I would say check it out. I would say at least keep your eyes open because I think this is one you could get into.
I can get down with this. This looks cool. What I have played actually is Solasta 2 is coming out.
I think it's all right. Oh, it's in early access.
It's in early access.
Yeah,
So
I heard a lot about that.
I bought the first one because it's just a D&D 5e based game. Like, I can get down with this. And Solasta 2 is supposed to be, or is based on now 5.5e. They finally dropped the naming convention of 2024. Thank God, because it was so it was stupid. It was D&D 5e 2024 rules.
Yeah.
We've been calling it 5.5e since it came out.
Yeah.
In any case, that's based off the 2020 the 5.5e rules. So I'm gonna be playing that when it's a little more
Polished.
There's a lot of, I was looking at the reviews are mixed at the moment, and it's a lot of people who don't fucking know what early access is. We've been eating too good in early access, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 started as early access, you know? They should give us some time. Be patient.
Let it cook for a little while at least.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, I think the consensus of early access, maybe because so many other games have been releasing at 1.0 like dog shit, like people forgot that early access is designed to actually be dog shit. Like that is kind of the point. It's supposed to show you what this could be, but not be feature complete. You know?
Yeah.
Like I think people forget that. Yeah, because we've seen a lot of early access games that are like good, you know, which is a good thing. That is a good thing. But like, dude, 2014 early access games, that was bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It was meant to be like, yeah, early access, live development.
Yeah. Like, hey, you're going to play this game and you're probably going to run out of things to do and not be able to complete arcs and fall through the world and have all this shit happen.
Like I want to wait for the full thing to come out because by the end of their development cycle, they're going to have all the SRD stuff built in. Right now, they have like 4 classes and they have like a couple ancestries available. And I think they only have up to like level 4 gameplay to like to the end of their like Act 1. So I'll pick it up like when it's a little more complete probably. But I have the first one. I played that for a little bit. Not enough to like really gauge whether it's going to be fun or not or great or not. But I got to say the voice acting at least god awful. I hope it's better in 2.
Is it bad? Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking bad.
When did 1 come out?
2021 maybe. But it was done on like this shoestring budget. So like I can excuse shit voice acting if it's, you know, like the voice acting and writing like really leaves a lot to be desired, but like, no, shit happens, right?
Hopefully 2 fixes that.
Hopefully, I think they got more of a budget to play with now, so you know,
Bring a little more to the front line.
Yeah. I don't know. I've just been bitter. I've just been bitter.
Buying up old hard drives.
Buying crap so I can put together shit
And be pissed.
and be pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Update. So I talked about this last couple times. I finished The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. That book was fun until it was really not fun. That book was fun, and then like the last there's like a 20-page stretch where I was like, man, this is the saddest fucking thing I've read.
So it's not fun in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's a point. I'm getting into spoilers. There's a spoiler warning. There's a relatively new book. It came out last year, so if you want to read it,
You have 3 seconds to click away.
it's just like this is a big spoiler because I usually don't spoil things that are this new.
Say the title of the book again, Grace.
The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. It's available in hardcover. I have a copy of it in hardcover.
The Devil Goons at the end. There's your spoiler.
the devil strokes his shit at the end. Really, actually, that wouldn't be that far off some of the shit that actually happens in the book.
Fair.
Point is, there's the whole plot is the church. The Catholic Church has undergone a schism. This happened in history. It was very different than what happened in history, but the church has undergone a schism, and a few hundred years after the schism, there's the Church of the East and the Church of the West. And there's a girl in a city, the holy city, where the Church of the East is headed, and that's like the big power. Like, I think that's the original church or whatever. And it turns out she's actually like a long lost princess, empress to Troy. And she gets escorted to Troy by what's called the Chapel of the Holy Expediency, which is basically we're going to use unholy entities that we've imprisoned to like
Do our bidding.
just do our bidding for a little while. There's some wacky stuff, like the Pope is like a 10-year-old girl. That's fun. She's like, and then like it is very much so in this timeline shift, the savior, like the Jesus Christ figure, was a woman. So that's why the Church of the East has like all women clergy members, with the exception of a few. So like all the cardinals are all women, like the Pope is a little girl, and there is a reveal. Again, spoilers. There's a real reveal like halfway through the book that like she is probably no bullshit the second coming of the savior, and that's why she ascended to the papal throne so quickly. So there's a bunch of little guys. And there's these crazy little characters, and they have their banter, their back and forth. It's like a Suicide Squad type meme. Like these are the devils, and they're led by a monk named Brother Diaz, who's set to lead the chapel. Anyway, they all do the thing. They go to a place, they fight a guy. They go to a thing, they fight a guy. They go to a thing, they fight a guy, and then they make it to Troy. And there's a point where they've done their mission, so now everyone has to go back to the holy city, to go back to the chapel to be brought on their next mission or whatever. And so there's all this character growth that happens between this princess, Alex, and like all the rest of the characters there. And then everyone has to kind of go their separate ways at the end. And especially the dynamic between, there's a relationship between her and Sunny, which is, she's like an elf. And people really don't like elves in this universe. So they're very similar characters when you're in both of their heads. They're very similar. And then they end up in like kind of a relationship, but then it has, Sunny, she's like a prisoner, so she has to go back, right? And there's like there's 2 points at which they think like, okay, and this is the last time we're going to see each other. And then it happens later on in the book again. and they're both like so fucking sad. They're both so sad. He's just like, man, this really sucks to read. And then there's the part where like she's got to say goodbye to Jacob of Thorn, who's like, he's a crusader who can't die but feels all the pain of all his wounds.
Damn.
So
That's a shitty life.
no, every chapter where you're in his head from his POV, he talks about how much it hurts to exist. Like he's like, man, every movement is described as being like agonizingly painful.
Crazy.
And you know, that was sad, and everyone goes because he's not a prisoner. Jacob of Thorn is a member of the church. He's a crusader
For the church, yeah.
But he's done a lot of things. Like he has lived a very long time, and he was a brutal soldier, and like very much killed like a lot of people. He killed many who were deserving and many who were not, moving like Kratos.
Yeah.
And so he's free. Like he could have just joined her court and been like part of that empire, but he's like, well, like, I actually can't do that. Like this is nice, but like there's a reason why I can't do this, and there's some big drawn out thing that he gives, but everyone eventually they go their separate ways, and it's just gut wrenchingly sad. But the character Brother Diaz, who's the leader, he ends up leaving the church in favor of the Church of the West, and then stays with Alex in Troy. So that at least that had a little payoff, which was nice. And then like the epilogue chapter introduces like, oh, this is going to be the new leader of the chapel, and then and one of the members of this chapel dies, and her death was horribly, like, terrifyingly sad. And then there's at the end of the book, there's like the epilogue where it's, oh well, here's the new leader of the chapel, and then here's the replacement for the person who died. You know, and it's setting up the next book. And I could see it being like an interesting little anthology type series where it's like, okay, each one of these books, I don't know what Abercrombie's intentions with this are, but like each one of these books is like a mission with the Devils, and you get like new cast members over time. We check in on the old ones every so often.
That'd be cool.
So I hope in one of these books, Sunny ends up happy.
Hopefully Sunny ends up sunny.
Hopefully she ends up happy. Man, that was such a tragic situation. Such a tragic character. Read it. A lot of good character work that's done in that book. A lot of silly stuff, a lot of wacky stuff happens. You know, I walked into the book with the expectation or with the knowledge that like, oh, you know, it's one of them books where like a priest fucks a werewolf. It happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's I don't know, it's not for kids. So, you know, these things happen.
Fair enough.
But it's fun. It's a fun book. I liked it. So now now I've started Stormlight 2, Words of Radiance. And man, the whiplash between those books is crazy, by the way. Like, Stormlight 1, I'm reading about a very intense conflict that's very mysterious with, like, the native peoples of an area versus an empire that kind of has an understanding of them, but then they murder the king of that empire. It's a whole thing. This happens in the prologue of The Way of Kings, the first book, so I'm not spoiling anything. The first line of the book, after the prelude, so there's like a 2-page prelude, and there's the prologue. The first line of that prologue is, Zeth's son Villano wore white on the day he was to kill a king. First thing he does, and believe it or not, guy kills a king, kills the king. So so I'm watching this, like, I'm reading this thing about this long, like, intense political conflict that's happening in the war, and then there's like dynamics between the different high princes who are like running the war, and you know, there's the issues of like there's different classes of people that are slaves, and there's the Parshmen, who are like a different species, kind of, and they're used entirely as slaves, basically. And then there's the Parshendi, who are like, there was a kind of an offhand comment that was made in the prologue about the Parshendi, describing them as, they were called the Parshendi as it was a combination of the phrase like Parshmen who can think, because there's a lot of sentiment around these people, specifically the Alethi, who are like, yeah, Parshmen just aren't people, right? Like, they're basically animals, right?
That's crazy.
I feel like it's understood to us and conveyed to us as readers that it's very much not true.
Yeah. Made sense.
But, because you do find something out about them, like, really late into the book, you're like, oh, fuck, dude, that's terrible. But I went from reading that to reading The Devils, where, like I said, a priest fucks a werewolf. And now I'm back into the fucking intent. This, like, book 2 takes place, like, days after the end of the first one.
Yeah.
So I'm reading this, I'm like, man.
That's crazy.
Man, this is crazy whiplash. I gotta say, going back to a Sanderson book is like going back to like a warm hug, though. So I'm just like, I'm so ingrained in how he writes stuff.
Yeah.
Where
feels very natural. And
it's not as like, it's not as in depth character wise as Joe Abercrombie, right? Joe Abercrombie's known specifically for his character work. Brandon Sanderson is like, he's even said himself that like my prose and like a lot of the actual technical aspects of my writing, it's not great, but he works in favor of giving you the clearest picture possible of what's happening with as little obfuscation as possible.
Spouse it out for you.
To accurately display his idea. Like, yeah, does he have points where sometimes he'll stop and be like, well, this happens, and that's this power that this guy has, and this is how it works just a little bit. Yeah, and if you don't like that, you probably won't like a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, but if you're okay with it.
Yeah, and it's also, they're very simple and quick to, especially after reading The Devils, because like, each person kind of has their own way of speaking, even like when it's narration in their head. Like, so you kind of have to switch between, oh well, we're in this person's head now, so we have to get back into this use of all of these words, or we have to get back into this method of speaking. You're like, oh my god, I'm getting fucking whiplash here.
That's funny.
But now it's like, yeah. Is there some distinctions between like a POV of Kaladin and like a POV of Shallan or a POV of Dalinar? Yeah, but it's all relatively simple.
Yeah.
The differences are very minute.
Yeah, if you showed someone who didn't know the characters, they probably wouldn't realize it's different characters.
Like if I read you a passage from The Way of Kings or from like Mistborn or whatever, the only reason you would be able to tell really that it's from like Kaladin's POV or like Ellen's POV is like usually the first name mentioned is the character whose POV it is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, a lot of in Mistborn, a lot of the chapters that are from Ellen's POV start with like the first words on the page are Ellen Venture, and then like,
and then never,
and then back on like, and then goes into what he was doing. Like, Ellen Venture sat in his library or whatever dumb book nerd stuff he did. What a loser! And then he became not a loser. If you read Mistborn 1 and you're like, man, I just like, I don't know how I feel about Ellen Venture. Strap in. Strap in, because he's the guy for the next 2 books.
Oh boy.
And then you kind of grow to like him, and then you kind of grow to like, I don't like some of the stuff he's done, but like I get it.
Yeah. One of those characters.
It is one of those things where I think that series navigates like power very well. Where Ellen Venture becomes the king, or the second emperor of the final empire, essentially. And like he really hates himself that he's had to institute such a level of tyranny. But also, it's a level of tyranny to like get everyone on the same page and like get people into an area so that they're safe for the end of the fucking world. You know, what are you gonna do?
He's trying his best.
These people need stability, so like I have to kind of be a little more tyrannical than I want to be, and I have to be like the Lord Ruler, and you kind of understand the Lord Ruler from that point of view. It's an interesting read. That's why I like Sanderson, is like the cerebral, like high level political conflicts that you're getting into. I'm a very nuts and bolts politics and economics guy. As much as I like detest like maybe microeconomics, but like discussing macroeconomic effects of something, or like the massive political socioeconomical effects of things, I think is very interesting. And I think he does very well. So that's what I've been up to.
Yeah, that's all I got for
That's
today.
what I've been up to.
Well, not for today, because we have another one of these to do. But for this episode, for you guys.
Yeah, I'm getting abducted by aliens.
Yeah, they're gonna probe his asshole.
Yeah, I woke up the other night, in the middle of the night.
Just gaping.
I woke up in the middle of the night. My eyes opened, and staring down at me was a gray alien, 7.5 feet tall, gray alien, spindly little legs,
Fully torqued.
and I said, "Oh my god, it's a gray alien." He said, "How the fuck did you know that?" I mean, have you watched TV? Like, that's the default alien. Are you stupid? And he goes, "What? Literally, what are you talking about right now?" Like, what do you mean? How do you not know what like a standard alien is? But you're talking to me in English, like no bullshit English. And then he kind of got upset with that. He kind of got a little angry, and he said, "That's it, fat boy. We're probing you now." So next time we're supposed to record, they put me on the schedule to get probed.
Yeah, right in the middle of it.
They explicitly told me, this gray alien, he told me, we don't actually even need to use the probe anymore. We have a better technology for it, but we're going to probe you anyway because I don't like you. Yeah. And then I said, if I stood up right now, I bet I could kick you in the knee and kill you because of those spindly little limbs. And he said, "That's it, you're getting probed twice now." So, unfortunately, alien abduction
happens.
It's been known to happen, many such cases.
The good news is the following episode, Chris will be able to give us a little bit of insight into it.
Yeah, I'll be able to tell you, so 225, I'll be able to tell you what it was like to get probed. You know, what the alien invasion and the alien abduction entailed, really.
Yeah.
So that's...
Look forward to that.
Yeah, look forward to that one.
Is that all you got?
Yeah, let them know where you can find the alien probed episode.
So, as always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Podcast, and the RSS feed linked below. YouTube, Spotify, a video platform, Instagram, TikTok. You can contact us. You can also do so via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. And come back in 4 weeks when you get to see, or listen to, or see, if you use YouTube, Spotify, Chris's recap of how his probing experience went.
Yeah, and just know that if there is a 7.5-foot alien sitting in this chair where I'm sitting now, and he says, "Hello, welcome to the Gleep Glorp podcast. I'm your host, Glip. I will be filling in for Chris."
Yeah. Then that means the probe was very successful, actually.
Yeah. So if my gray alien captor shows up, you know, it's something we'll just have to move on with.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.